So here we are, just leaving the theater of News of the World, Tom Hanks' I guess most newest movie. It was Christmas time that it came out in the theaters, but here we are, February 15th of all dates. So in the 1860s, and Tom Hanks plays a Mr. Kidd character that goes from town to town reading the newspapers to people, sort of a Google News of the 1860s, 1870s. It's hard to believe that's like not even 200 years ago. Can't think of the time. It's sort of a lawless land. And a child appears out of the woods, and then he takes it upon himself as a mission. He's going to return this child to the only family she has 400 miles away. He's going to take her back. And that's sort of the gist of the story. Don't see many movies in the Western era. Last Tom Hanks movies. Did you see Greyhound? I don't know if you saw Greyhound or not. I know I saw that on Apple TV Plus. That was the last Tom Hanks movie. He likes these period piece movies, I guess. That's kind of his thing. And he always chooses like meaty character type roles that kind of leave you going, okay, there's a character arc here. He has a knack for picking stories like that. I found this one to be rather slow. It seemed aimless at times. The girl doesn't speak any English, so it's him and the horse carriage, traveling to bad things that happen to her with him that he can barely understand, traveling in the Old West. Yeah, there was some action, and there was moments where things happened, but it's like, okay. And then they're traveling to this place to drop her off at some point with another family, and they build sort of a friend relationship along the way. But that's, I was gonna say until the ending, I was gonna say, and I won't spoil it here, but I was gonna say this was pretty slow and pretty mediocre. And then the ending sort of redeems it a little bit, but still kind of somewhere between 2 to 2.5 stars for me out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I was thinking 2. It wasn't horrible.
It got better in the end. Do you agree that the ending kind of made it a little better? Because it seemed rather aimless at points. I'm going, okay, is this what it's going to be? They just go from town to town and stuff just happens. And then there's just like, there's this bad storm, and then out of the storm there's Indians, and it's like whoever was writing the script just went, okay, what can we put in here in the 1860s? Oh, a dust storm, kind of a couple of rogue guys in a town, a Western pedophile type guy, and his henchmen. I mean, I don't know. They just like throw ideas at a dartboard, and this becomes a script. And, if not for Tom Hanks, would have been a bust. Tom Hanks elevated that movie. The child actor, I don't know who she is, wasn't really all that impressed with her. And at times I kind of wondered if Tom Hanks just didn't play all these good guy type of characters as what he stars in. He lifted that film up. He put that film on it, that script on his shoulders, and packed it those 400 miles and made it a watchable movie. Without him, it's a 1-star movie for me, maybe 1.5-star movie. I think he gets the star to a 1.5 all on his own. I don't know. Do you agree with that, or do you?
2 stars is about good.
It's a 2-star movie, 2 to 2.5. So I'm gonna just stick with 2 stars. But if Tom Hanks wasn't in it, would you have felt as strongly towards?
I'm not sure about that.
You think anybody?
2 stars is probably about right.
You know,
Doesn't matter. better.
You don't think Tom Hanks made that movie better
No.
by being Tom Hanks? Okay.
No.
Wow. I did. I certainly did. So we disagree about that
The story
part.
would have been the story regardless.
Yeah, but I think his style of acting, he has that good guy role, he does.
We don't agree on that. It's okay.
What do you agree with? What's your
The story would have been the story.
You don't care about the actors? So Karen and I disagree on that, apparently. However, for me, without Tom Hanks, it was a 1.5. It was at least a half star lower than possibly a full star, 1 star movie. It just wasn't really my kind of story. Because it didn't seem to have the narrative flow just wasn't there. It was like pieces of scenes glued together, but it got better in the ending. It had a decent ending. So, I guess that says something. But like I said, I think they just were in a room spitballing ideas and came up with what finally ended up being the story. Maybe Tom Hanks had a hand in saying, hey, we shouldn't do this, we should do this, we should do that. But the thing that's most remarkable about that film to me, like I said, is just thinking, today to then, that's not 1870. 1860 is what? 150 years ago? It's not that far away. People live almost 100 years now. Some are living more than 100 years. So can you imagine even 100 years ago? We're talking 1910. It's a totally different. There's no World War II. It hasn't happened yet. Or 1921. I guess World War I didn't happen, right? But not World War II. The whole world is different. It's a different time, even 100 years ago. So in 150 years ago, that seemed like total lawlessness. The Wild West is very relevant. So it's a great area for a story or stories, and I can see why people like Westerns and things, but that particular story just seemed kind of empty to me. So anyway, 2 stars, we're just going to both settle on that. 2 out of 5 stars. We are moviereviewsbyus.com. You liked what we had to say, and this just left the theater. That's what we do here. We just leave the theater, turn the camera on as we're driving home, give you our immediate thoughts. You may agree, you may disagree. We'll tell you whether we recommend the movie or not. It takes 4 out of 5 stars for us to recommend a movie. So this is not recommended by us. Wait, this will come on streaming. If you really want to see it, wait for it. Is it worth? If you have an AMC Stubs or Regal, if Regal's not open right now, but AMC is. If you have an AMC Stubs A-list and you got 3 movies to see, there ain't a lot of movies to see right now, so this could certainly be one of them. Not recommended by us, however. So you're doing what you're doing. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you next time. I'm Todd. He's Kara. We are moviereviewsbyus.com.